Good morning and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. This week we're going to look at the I am sayings of Jesus in the Gospel of John. Throughout the Gospel of John, Jesus makes several statements about himself that all begin with the words I am, and then finish with some earthly thing that we can relate to, but which also opens up vistas of understanding for us about God. The sayings are all connected to God's name, too. In Exodus 3, when Moses is talking to God in the burning bush, Moses asks for God's name. It's a fascinating passage because Moses wants to know God's name so that he and the people can call on God. You see, to know someone's name is to have power over them. And if you don't believe that, just remember when you were a child being in trouble and your mother calling your name. There was definitely power over you involved. But when God answers Moses, he doesn't allow Moses or anyone to have that kind of power to control or to demand God's actions. The name he gives means, I am who I am, or I will be who I will be, or I will do what I will do. So it has come down to us to think of God as the I am. And whenever Jesus uses I am, it's a divine revelation. Jesus is claiming to be God. In John 6:35, we read, Jesus said to them, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never be hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. This is the first time Jesus used this formula to reveal who he was. And what's clear is that in Jesus, human longings, hopes, and needs are met. Here, Jesus relates himself to bread, and you can't hear that without thinking back to the manna in the wilderness. How, when God's people were in trouble, God provided for them in love and in compassion. This image also points to today, because we need daily bread to survive. And with Jesus, we don't just survive, we thrive. This image of bread also points forward to the bread of Holy Communion, God's new way of providing for all of us the salvation we so desperately need. It is God's purpose to save through Jesus, and that is inclusive, not exclusive. People don't choose Jesus. God gives the gift of faith, just like the manna was God-given. Through the Holy Spirit, God leads us to God. Faith is impossible for us without God's initiative through the Holy Spirit to and in us. Our human part in all this is our response to God's initiative and our response to the gift of faith given to us by God. Jesus reveals himself as the bread of life, the very thing that sustains us and fills us to overflowing. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.